Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Belcher from the counseling office, and today we're going to be doing a brain science lesson called What is in my control and how do I control it? If you remember back to some of our previous brain science lessons, the amygdala is the part of the brain that deals a lot with fear, feelings, and what makes you want to do things. Sometimes it can take over and make it hard for you to react calmly when you feel threatened. This might make you react very strongly to something, even if it's not that big of a deal. Sometimes people refer to this as the amygdala hijack. Think of the amygdala like a watchdog. It's always watching out for danger to keep you safe. It's sensitive to things that like fear and anger. Being able to control and manage your emotions is like being the boss of your feelings. It means that you can use your smart brain, called the prefrontal cortex, instead of just acting based on how you feel. When we're stressed, upset, worried, or angry, our emotions can take over and ruin the whole day. But when we can control our emotions, we can recognize them, feel them, and not let them ruin everything. I want to remind you of a couple strategies we have talked about before, but they may be new to some of you. Name it to tame it is a simple idea about dealing with emotions. It means that when you're feeling a strong emotion like anger or sadness, it can help to give that feeling a name. By saying out loud or in your mind what you're feeling, you start to understand it better. It's like shining a light on your emotion, which can make you feel which can make it feel less scary or overwhelming. When you name your emotions, you're not letting them control you as much. Instead, you're taking charge and calming yourself down. It's a way of making your feelings easier to handle. So the next time you're upset or mad, try saying to yourself, I feel angry or I feel sad. It might just help make you feel a little bit better. It takes less than 90 seconds for an emotion to get triggered, surge chemically through the bloodstream, and then get flushed out. There's an automatic and chemical response in the body, even to an extreme emotion, that simply cannot last longer than 90 seconds. Beyond that, anything that you feel is of your own choosing. If you fight the emotion and you don't allow its natural release through your body, you are going to have to fight it again and again. If you open yourself to it and remain completely present, it will pass within 90 seconds. Challenge yourself. The next time you're getting overwhelmed, frustrated, or upset, take out a timer and set it for 90 seconds. Just breathe deeply for 90 seconds. The video you're about to watch is roughly 90 seconds long. It doesn't seem like a long amount of time, but taking some time to do some deep breathing for those 90 seconds can help you to get back into that thinking brain. Let's watch this quick video. When the 90-second cycle keeps going, the amygdala can block the prefrontal cortex, which is that part of your brain that helps you think through things. But if you use your prefrontal cortex to think about your feelings, it can help open the gate for communication between these parts of your brain. Otherwise, your amygdala might take control of the situation and you might act only on your emotions without getting the chance to think about what you're doing. Next, we're going to talk about focusing on the solutions. What is a personal strength? What would you consider a positive attribute about yourself? Each student should have a copy of the ABCs of Me paper. If you don't have a copy, a scratch sheet of paper will work as well. Each class is going to have about 5 minutes to work on the ABC of Me ABCs of Me sheet. You're going to write down words starting with each letter of the alphabet that describe a positive attribute or strength of your own. This ABC list would be a descriptive list of all of your personal positive characteristics. So for myself, if I were filling out this sheet, the first thing that popped into my mind about myself is that I'm a good listener. So next to the L on my sheet, I wrote listener. You are going to write down as many possible positive attributes or strengths you can think of about yourself. There's a list up here on the board that you can look off of with just some ideas, but this is not an exhaustive list. There are obviously lots of other positive attributes and strengths out there that are not up on the board. This will just help you hopefully get started. Be creative. So if you could take the next 5 minutes and teachers are going to go ahead and pause the video, and students are just going to put down as many positive attributes as they can in the next 5 minutes. Students might not get this done, and that's okay. So go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, so now we're going to go through some processing questions. Teachers, in a second, you're going to pause the video and work through these questions as a class. Have a few students share their strengths or positive attributes about themselves. You could go around the room and have each student share one thing, or maybe just have like 3 to 5 students share a couple things on their sheets, and then go through the following questions together. So go ahead and pause the video now and work through these questions as a class, and then we'll get back into the video. Okay, next we're going to talk about what can I control? And I have this quick video we're going to watch just to get started thinking about it.
Master! I have, it's very bad news.
Shifu. There is just news. There is no good or bad.
Master, your vision was right. Tai Lung has broken out of prison. He's on his way.
That is bad news. If you do not believe that the Dragon Warrior can stop him.
The panda? Master, that panda is not the Dragon Warrior. He wasn't even meant to be here. It was an accident.
There are no accidents.
Yes, I know. You've said that already. Twice.
Well, that was no accident either.
Thrice.
My old friend, the panda will never fulfill his destiny, nor you yours, until you let go of the illusion of control.
Illusion?
Yes. Look at this tree, Shifu. I cannot make it blossom when it suits me, nor make it bear fruit before its time.
But there are things we can control. I can control when the fruit will fall. And I can control where to plant the seed. Hiya! That is no illusion, Master.
Ah, yes. But no matter what you do, that seed will grow to be a peach tree. You may wish for an apple or an orange, but you will get a peach.
But a peach cannot defeat Tai Lung.
Maybe it can, if you are willing to guide it, to nurture it, to believe.
It is important to recognize the items in our lives that are within our control to change and those that are not. In completing this next activity, examine what you have control in changing and addressing, as well as those items that other people deeply impact. Each of you should have a sheet of paper labeled Circle of Control. If you don't have one of those sheets of paper, then a piece of scratch paper will also work just fine. We're going to watch this video to introduce this sheet of paper, but then after the video, we're going to pause so that each of you can fill out your own paper in writing down the things that are within your control inside of the circle and the things that are out of your control around the outside of the circle. Let's watch this quick video to get started.
The world that we live in can be quite scary sometimes, and for some of us, we might find it. The world that we live in can be quite scary sometimes, and for some of us, we might find it difficult to navigate our way through. Whether we're feeling nervous, anxious, or stressed, sometimes we need to look for answers, or in this case, something that we can control. Enter our circle of control. This is something we can all use to help understand and process different situations. So we might find we use this when we aren't feeling so anxious or so stressed. We can use our circle of control to work out what we can control and what we can't. You might decide that you want to draw this out in front of you. Being able to see something in front of you sometimes makes it more real or more believable. If you do want to draw along, you will need to draw a big circle on a plain piece of paper. In the inside of the circle, you can write, what can I control? And on the outside, what is out of my control? Now you might want to draw this with 2 circles, or you might just use the inside of the circle and then the rest of the paper. Think about what you can do. You can make a decision about how you behave, what you say to others, and what your actions are. These are all a choice that you can make, and you can decide these. Think about what you might be able to control at home, at school, and outside. So what might be in the out of control section? These are all situations and decisions that are made by others. For example, our government makes decisions for us. Our parents make decisions for us to keep us safe, and our teachers make choices for us regarding our time in school. But what about what others do? We can't control how someone else behaves, what they choose to say, or what action they take in different situations. We can't control being ill or other people being ill. These are just some ideas. Think about your life. What is there, if anything, that you can't control? Now, if you have been drawn along, reflect on these 2 sections. What have you written in each section? Has writing these down helped clear your mind? Do you feel less anxious about a situation knowing what you can or can't control? And are you able to take back control in situations where you've once felt out of control? This can be something that we do over and over again, and in time we might not need to write this down. But for some of us, writing down might just be the best way to do it.
Okay, so now you've watched that video about the introduction. You're each going to take your own sheet of paper and write down those things that are within your control and in the inside of the circle, and write down those things that are out of your control around the outside of the circle. So teachers, if you could pause the video and maybe just give like 5 minutes or so for students to work on their own sheet of paper. You can pause the video now. Okay, in conclusion, we have talked about the following things: the importance of managing our impulses. We've talked about the name it to tame it and 90-second rule strategies, using our strengths to help in making positive choices, and recognizing what is in our control and what is not. It is important for all of us to understand that there are aspects in our lives that we cannot control and aspects in our lives that we can. With dedication and determination, there are numerous changes one can make to improve one's life. Being able to recognize what is in our control, as well as being able to manage our impulses, are 2 knowledge and skills required for success. Teachers, if there's any time left over today, you're welcome to have students work on finishing up their ABCs of me and what is in my control and what is outside of my control sheet. And then that is it for today. Students, those papers are yours to take with you. Teachers, you do not have to collect those. Have a great day.